Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bryony and I am one half of the Indecisive Readers. In 2020 I came up with a list of 30 books I wanted to read before 2030. As we're halfway to that date, I thought I'd do like a little check-in and see how far I've got, because I've not actually looked at this list yet, and so it'd be interesting to see whether or not my reading expectations 5 years ago are the same as the reading reality. First of all, it's interesting to see my shelves in 2020 because they look very different now. I do have more shelves, like I've got a bookcase, which I didn't have at the time, and I do have more like shelves. I've also just stacked more up. And it's interesting to see what books are on the shelf because I'm not sure I own all of those or a lot of those now. But I do also own a lot more. So there we go. The first one is The History of the World with a Woman Put Back In, which I have read. Then we have Matilda, Not the Roald Dahl one, which I have also read. Then The Tale of Genji, which I think is like one of the first books or stories ever written, which I haven't read. The Amazons, which I haven't read, and the Virago Book of Witches, which I haven't read either. This worries me because I was afraid, thinking back about this list, that I'd come up with, or I couldn't come up with 30 books that I wanted to read, which is a bit worrying. And I think I just went through my Amazon wish list. So I hope those three are not a reflection on the rest of the list. Then we have Pride and Prejudice, which at the start of the year I hadn't read, but I actually put this on my 12 books to read this year. So I have now read or listened to the audiobook. Then The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I think I read in 2020. Little Women is next, which I have not read. I wasn't a massive fan of the film, but I was thinking recently that I do kind of want to revisit the film, but I don't think I want to read the book. I think I may have actually unhauled it last week. Then The Odyssey, I have read the Emily Wilson translation, which I enjoyed. I think she's done another one, which I will also have to check out, unless The Odyssey is the one she's recently done, in which case I haven't read. Then Sappho, I was not specific in which Sappho version collection I would read, but I think I read If Not Winter, which was a really interesting way of reading the fragments of her books or her writings. The Secret Diaries of Miss Anne Lister, I think I finished, but I don't think I found it profound, which is why I can't necessarily remember having finished it. The Silence of the Girls, I think I've read. A Darker Shade of Magic, a bit like Pride and Prejudice, I hadn't read. Once I'd finished Pride and Prejudice, that was the next one I picked up, as I had it as an audiobook, and I thought it was alright. 3 stars. The Poppy War, I read but didn't enjoy as much as I thought I would. Son of the Shadows, again, read, didn't love. The Hobbit, really enjoyed that. I think I listened to the, is it Andy Serkis version? The guy who plays or voices Gollum. I think he performs as Gollum as well. But that's the version I listened to and I really enjoyed that. Six of Crows, I read. What's the other one? Shadow and Bone as well, and I actually preferred Shadow and Bone. But I didn't finish or carry on with either of the series. Queen of the Tearlin, I think Sam inspired me to purchase. I've read the first one. I was actually thinking the other day that I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to finish the series or whether I would just unhaul the book. So next we've got A Court of Thorns and Roses. I have read the whole series. Throne of Glass is next, and I've read the first one. I haven't read the rest. I don't know whether I should read the rest. Sorcery of Thorns I haven't read, which I'm really surprised about because I read Vespertine and I really enjoyed it. I think I just haven't picked up Sorcery of Thorns and I've got no reason for that. The Diviners, I absolutely adore the Diviners books. I've read the first one a few times now. I've read only the rest of this series I think once, but I was actually thinking I might revisit the first one again. I think it might have become like a comfort read. I really like the audiobook of them as well. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I've written that I don't know what this one was about, which surprises me. I must have, this was pre-book talk, but must have been a hyped book anyway, and I really enjoyed that series. It is also another good audiobook. Then I've read What's a Girl Got to Do. I think that's the second one, and the third one is called something else, but I haven't read the third one, and I did unhaul that, so if What's a Girl Got to Do is the third one, I have not read that. Mine I have not read. I also do not own. Fire I did finally read. I didn't think it was last year. It might have been last year or the year before. But I did finally read that. I did have to do like a couple more rereads before I was ready to, but I did finally read it. I didn't read Normal People. To be honest, I think I just put this on the list because everyone was talking about it, but it's never going to be my thing, so we can strike that off the list. The Rosie Result I think I've read. I think that was the last one, the third one, and I do think I've read that. Then Sleep, which I unhauled last week because it's not necessarily my usual genre. And finally Hidden Bodies, which I think is the second book or the sequel to You, which I did a comparison with the series or the TV show, and I don't think I ever did that with the series. So if I've remembered correctly, I've read 22 out of 30 and only not read 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I may not ever read of those 8, so I think I might revisit the list and maybe see if I will update those 8. Were there any goals you set yourself a few years ago and how are you getting on with them? Let me know if you've read any of these that I have read, or encourage me to read the ones I haven't, and I will see you in another video. Bye.